What is up, guys? So today I'm here to give you a review on my bow. This has been something that a lot of people have requested, so I want to be able to give that to you guys. The chickens are not staged, I promise. We are just letting them free range. We live on a farm. This is hopefully going to be something that's helpful for you if you are just getting into archery, or even if you've been shooting for a while. I shoot a Hoyt Ventum Pro 33, so it's a bow that's not technically designed for women. It's actually a little bit on the larger side of what they typically create for women. It has worked out for me so well. I really love this bow. So I'm just gonna go over my setup, what my overall thoughts are on this bow, and what I got started with and how I worked up to this. Okay, I also wanted to clear up the reason why the truck is here is not for Ford advertisement. It is windy and I don't like the cold, so I asked Tony to park the truck here as part of that. So that is why the truck is standing here. Okay, so this video is about the bow that I currently shoot, but I did shoot two other bows before I got to this one. The first bow that I ever had was the Powermax Vixen. It was a 40 to 50 pound limb bow. That one actually destroyed my forearm. I thought that my form was really bad. Turns out we went to the pro shop and I just needed a bigger bow. So that bow got turned in, and then we purchased the Hoyt Torrex, which is basically like their budget bow. I'd say this has been a really good one for me. It's actually my backup bow that I take hunting now. But overall, it's pretty good. It's obviously a lot smaller than this one. It's really light. And the only issue that I had with it is that on the first draw cycle of it, sometimes the limbs will creak, which when you're hunting is an issue. You don't want any sound. But otherwise, it's been a good bow for me. The only reason why I moved on from this was that I maxed this one out at, I think, 63 pounds, because this is the 50 to 60 pound limb system. I wanted something a little bit bigger, a little bit more challenging for me, so that's what led me to the Ventum Pro. Okay, so why the Ventum Pro 33? I chose this bow on total accident. We knew we wanted to upgrade my bow to a heavier limb system, so we went up to our pro shop at Cinnamon Creek and I shot a bunch of the bows that they made for women specifically. They felt good, but it didn't have that it factor that I was looking for. Like, sometimes you just know when you feel it, especially as a woman. And that's something that I want to encourage you ladies. When you go to a pro shop, if you're looking to get into archery for the first time or to upgrade the bow that you have, ask to shoot all of the bows that look interesting to you. You're not going to annoy the pro shop. If you do, you're at the wrong pro shop and you need to find somebody that's going to want to help you. But don't feel bad spending a couple of hours just trying out different bows. Like, it's going to be with you for a long time, so you want it to work for you. And I saw this one and I was like, hey, can I try that one? I tried it, and on the very first draw cycle of this bow, I was hooked. It was so smooth. Surprisingly, the longer axle to axle for me felt right. So this one's 33 inches, which is a lot bigger than my Torrex, but it feels right for me. Also, I really like the the hand grip on this. My hand fits perfectly and it feels really good. This bow is a bit heavier than my last one, but again, all I had to do was hold myself to a higher standard and adjust my workouts a bit, so now I'm strong enough. It was a little painful at first to hold it, but I mean, the body adapts so fast the more that you do something, so it's really not that big of a deal. Overall, it looks cool, it feels cool. It gives me that higher poundage that I was looking for. So I pull 70. I'm not gonna go past 70. I'll let Tony have the 80 pound limbs. I'll stay here, but I do know at the end of the day, you don't have to shoot a heavy bow to have a successful hunt. However, for me, I just know that I'm capable of doing it. And if I'm capable of doing it, there's no reason for me not to hold myself to that standard. So I just want to encourage you, if you're comfortable with where you're at and you like it, you don't have to change a thing. But don't be afraid to challenge yourself a little bit more. And ultimately, like me challenging myself with my archery and continuing to get better is what led me to this bow. And I don't see myself upgrading from this anytime soon. This has been so good for me. I've took a mule deer with it last year and a whitetail. This year I'm planning to get an elk. Yeah, this thing is solid. It's been a really great bow for me so far. Okay, so I'm gonna go over my accessories with you guys real quick. I just have a few. I try to keep it simple. First is my sight. I have the Fast Eddie Spot Hogg 2-pin. I really like this. I just started running this last year, and I really like the 2-pin because when we're out hunting out west, usually things happen very fast. So I like to be prepared. When we set up for a hunt and we're gonna be sitting for a while, I range everything around me, and I know that within a certain perimeter, I'm gonna be using the first pin. If something walks into the second perimeter that I've ranged, I know that I'll be using the second pin. So it's really good for me to be able to have options in a quick pinch like that. Okay, next up I have the QAD Rest. I don't really have much to say about this. It's a simple rest. It's the one that I've run since I've got my first bow, and it's been really good for me, so I really don't have a reason to change it, but it's just a pretty simple rest for me and it does the job well. Okay, you may have noticed this is not a traditional quiver or stabilizer. This is the Option Archery Quivalizer, and I am honestly obsessed with this thing. First off, it looks cool, but secondly, I don't like having things on my bow that take up a lot of real estate that I'm not going to be using. And so this, for it to be like a 2-in-1 stabilizer and quiver for me, it just makes sense. The balance on it feels so perfect. All I have to do in addition to that is run a really small back bar right here. This is just a Hoyt, and overall, I mean, it does everything that I need it to. So this last accessory is probably gonna be for the ladies. I see guys use this, but ladies understand it better, I think. This is it says a Sling-a-Ling. It's by Jakt gear, which those guys are great, by the way. But this thing, at first when I got it, I was a little indifferent because it seemed kind of complicated. It's really not. So this thing has a magnet on it that attaches to this. So if I need to put it out of the way, it goes down just like that. I really used this a lot when we were hunting last year, and we were hiking like 10 miles a day, just moving all day long, and you get really tired. And so for me to be able to set up my bow like this, I hold onto the grip, I hold it right here, and I'm really secure. So if I'm walking on like rocky areas, I'm not scared about like falling and catching my hand with my bow in it. I have it here, so it's really safe and secure, but this thing was a lifesaver last season. Very important are your arrows, obviously. I am currently shooting the Easton Axis long range. These are 4mm. Tony builds my arrows, which is very nice to have, and right now I'm shooting about 390. This year, because I am pulling a heavier bow, we learned that I need to be shooting heavier. So we're gonna try to get into the 450, 475 range. We're gonna get those arrows heavier. We'll take it to the pro shop, run it through the chronograph, see what the speed is like on that and if that's where it needs to be. But otherwise, these Eastons have been really great. We go to Total Archery Challenge every year. That's a great place for you to learn what your bow needs, what it doesn't need, what you need to practice on, and a lot of times we figure out like the arrows that we need differently for different types of settings, so that's a really good thing. But yeah, as for right now, these are the arrows that I'm running. Okay, this is funny. We've tried to shoot this scene like 3 times, but the chickens keep interrupting. Actually, our rooster keeps interrupting, so we're gonna try to get through this. But I wanted to talk about the release that I use. So I use the Carter Wise Choice 3-finger release. This thing has been a game changer for me. So I started out with the wrist release. It was just an index finger pull. That was good up until about 60 pounds. And then as I started getting heavier, my wrist really didn't like it. And I didn't have that much control with it, I felt like. Using this has given me a lot more ability to pull a heavier bow, and also just the release in general, the pull through feels really good. So this has been a game changer for me. So ultimately, With this bow, it was the smooth draw cycle and the feel of the hold that sold me on it. So I'm just gonna do a couple pulls really quick and show you guys what that looks like. Got my lighted knocks out. This feels so good. Okay ladies, I hope this was helpful for you to see what I shoot, what my setup is, and why I chose this. A few things that I want to leave you with. I said it earlier, but again, don't be afraid to try new bows, and don't be afraid to try a bunch of different kinds. So try the women's, try the men's, shoot a Matthews, shoot a Hoyt, just try everything. Okay, so just be confident and go with the one that you know is right for you. And then a little leave off for the guys that may be watching this video. If you have a woman in your life that's looking to get into archery, or she's looking to get a new bow, just take her to the shop and make it a fun day. Go get an iced coffee on the way. Let her try every bow that she wants to try. Just be patient. The win overall is that she's there and that she's getting a bow. It's something for you guys to do together, which is so fun when your partner is on board. But if you're a Hoyt guy and she wants to shoot a Matthews, let her shoot it. Don't try to sway her one way or the other. Like, let her find the one that's right for her. Let her pick out her accessories, the colors. Like, it's a fun experience for all of you. So just take her, be patient, and build her up. So if she finds one that she likes and she feels confident shooting it, tell her how good she looks shooting that bow. Like, again, the win is that y'all are there doing it together. So just take that into your next trip to the archery shop, and I hope that helps you out. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you had some good takeaways from this. I am curious though, if you're a woman and you're watching this video, what are you shooting? I'm really curious to know what your setup is like. If you do have questions for me, I'm always happy to answer those, so ask me anything. Also, I am considering making a video about how I started at a 50-pound draw and worked up to over 70-pound draw. If that's something that you're interested in, let me know below. I love training and I love fitness, and so it was only natural that I got stronger. But if that's something that you're interested in, again, just let me know. I'm more than happy to share that with you guys, and I really just want to see all of you succeed. I want to see more women get into archery. It's been such a good thing for my life individually, and then with me and Tony, for it to be something that we do together is even more special. So I hope you had some good takeaways from this. Again, drop me some comments below, and we'll see you next time.